No, yeah, a lot of people that I've spoken to about having you guys on, I was like, oh, Church of Satan's coming in. And they were like, what? And I had to kind of explain that it's not like devil worship. I know you're probably exhausted from talking about this. You know, I listened to a bunch of your interviews and everything like that, but I mean, still there's people out there who have just no idea. Like everybody was just like, oh, is that safe? Like, what do you mean safe? What are you talking about?
And that's debatable depending on who the person is that you're talking
right.
about.
Like every person I spoke to, I'd have to clear the air, and they just look at me with this cockeyed stare, like, I don't know, I'll have to research that myself, but they won't.
Yeah, of course.
No. Well, we call that the fear of the S word, because once you throw that word out there, everyone freaks out. Because they're uninitiated, they really don't know the philosophy, and they've never read the Satanic Bible, or any other of the canon of the church. So we're the most fun church there is. We have naked girl altars and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's more than safe. It's a lot of fun.
We went through on the show some of the tenets and stuff, and we were just running them down. I was just like, I can get on board with this. I didn't know, I'm still new to the whole.
That was during our Christmas show.
No,
it wasn't during that.
It was episode number 80.
So it wasn't that?
No.
Okay.
Canadian Pirates.
Okay. Yeah. So we were talking because of that news story, and then we came across your website, and that's where we got familiar with you guys. And I think we started off like reading off the 9 satanic statements. Yeah. And what is that I got here?
The 11 rules of the earth. And
11 satanic rules of the earth, and every one of them, it's like, well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think I want to be a Satanist.
That's right.
We're the most sane religion there is.
Yeah, and Satanism is really based on human nature. What Anton LaVey did is said all these religions are based on denying human nature. So we really need to have one that affirms what we are. And humans are animals, but they're animals that can be rational. But we can't get rid of the animal part, and we have to accept that and celebrate it, not just try to repress it and destroy it or feel guilty.
Yeah.
And he said that there's a demon in man that should be exorcised, not exorcised. And that was the whole point, is to kind of deal with our natures for real. And, it was one of the first religions to be out there and say they accept all forms of sexuality as long as it's between consenting adults. Everything's cool. Like nobody had really done that before. And when you think that the Satanism was created by a guy who was born in 1930, somebody from that era, that he'd have that kind of free-thinking attitude. It was groundbreaking.
And not wound up in prison.
Absolutely.
Like to be a Satanist during like McCarthyism times and stuff like that. Like how tough that must have been.
Well, it was also propitious timing in 1966. Everything it was freewheeling. People embraced the rebellion of the society at that time. So it was real good timing too, and that's magical.
Do you guys see your numbers still growing, or
hell
is
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Oh, it's never stopped growing.
Yeah.
I mean, people join and leave because they don't really understand what it is. Sometimes they're thinking. Well, I don't know what they're thinking, some of them, because they don't tell us. They will join up, and then, a month or year or 5 years later, then they send us in a resignation saying, oh, well, it wasn't for me. And we're like, we never really heard from you, so we don't know how you applied this philosophy or not. But the thing is, Satanism is challenging because what it tells each person is to be the best whoever they are they can be. And that's something that a lot of people can't live up to because you can't blame God or the devil. For your you can't thank God for successes and blame the devil for failures, or vice versa. Like, it's all in your head. So if you fuck up, you fucked up. And you have to take that and deal with it and make your life better. And having a philosophy and a religion that basically says it's all your fault. But then if you succeed, then it's like, yay, pats on the back, celebrate you, kudos. It's really kind of this wonderful range, but it really expects people to be fully cognizant of what their abilities are and to find their weaknesses and fix them and to find those strengths and promote them.
Right. And so, there is no devil that we worship. There's no anthropomorphic
that was going to be, and I knew the answer to the question, but for the audience I was going to ask.
We're basically atheists. So there is no godlike or demon-like devil that's worshipped. That's hogwash. Anybody believes
that's the sensationalized kind of
it's ridiculous.
Emo teenager version of Satanism.
It's a symbol of what we do and of being a carnal religion. And you can't get more carnal than Satan.
And Satan specifically represents pride and liberty and individualism for us. Because if you look back at Milton and other writers, Byron and the Romantics, they saw Satan as a rebel and somebody who was self-actualized and somebody who wasn't going to submit to tyranny. So for us, and in Hebrew, Satan specifically means adversary. So we are the adversaries to tyranny and oppression and anybody who would try to keep us from being what we are. And that's why it's you got to be somebody with some balls to be a Satanist, because you are going to stand out, you're going to step out, you're not going to follow the herd, whatever that herd is. There's always going to be people around you who are going to try to push you into something. The climates change. You know, when I grew up in the,
Smoking strong, smoking long, pack another bowl in the Pyrex bong. Take another hit until your feelings gone. It's that medical baby, shit from California. Creep up on ya, I'm a charmer. Little bit of game, good marijuana.